to show you guys how to make this domestic goddess mug. On the funky mug here, we're going to put ours on a round mug. It's really cute with the black and white check border. Has really pretty little flowers all over it. So we're going to get started by cutting out a piece of contact paper. It's going to sort of act as the label here. So we'll just go ahead and cut a piece out for that. Okay, peel the contact paper away from the backing and just place it down on the mug. And you're going to want to make sure that you smooth down all the edges. You'll probably have some folds because we are working with a rounded surface, but just try to get everything nice and flush against the pottery as much as you possibly can so that no paint gets underneath there. Okay, and then the first step is going to be to paint the background of the mug with a light pink. And it's just one coat of paint. So take your large square brush, get it nice and loaded, and then just make big swooshy strokes and cover the whole mug. You're going to cover everything but the handle. You can just paint right over the contact paper. It sort of acts like masking tape, so it's just going to keep those edges nice and clean for you. And then once you have your background painted on, you can just lift the corner and pull the paper off, and you should have a nice white area to work in there. So next step is going to be to paint the inside of the label, but first we need to lay down a couple of strips of masking tape for where the words are going to go. You'll want to cut the edges of the masking tape so that you have a nice clean edge there rather than tearing it. And again, you're just going to want to make sure that it's nice and pressed up against the bisque so that none of the paint comes underneath. Once the masking tape for the words is down, then we're going to take the tape and mask off the area that's going to have the black and white checkers. So just go a little bit into the square, the white square, and we're going to mask that off before we paint it green. Once you've done that, you can just go ahead and paint the green in the center, and you can go right over all the masking tape. It's going to keep those edges nice and clean for you. And it's just about one coat of paint. So you got a little bit extra there, so I'm just kind of moving it around. But once you get it covered, you're good to go, and then we're going to remove it in just a second. In fact, we could probably do it right now. So while we give that a minute to dry, we're going to go ahead and add the flowers to the back side of the mug using a little bit darker pink. And we're going to go around and just make puddles all over the cup. So these flowers are really easy. It's just a little puddle of paint. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle. And if you guys want to know how to do just the flowers, we have a video for that as well. And these look great on lots of different things. So while we let that dry, we'll go ahead and add the darker green, sort of retro looking flowers here in the corners using a little bit darker green paint and a liner brush. So you're going to start at the corner and press down and pull the brush into the center, and then you can add in between. And we'll do the same thing in the other corner. And we'll give all that just a minute to dry. Okay, now that everything's dried a little bit, we're going to remove the masking tape where the words are going to go. You can use an X-Acto knife or a little pin or anything to pull the tape up. And then we are going to add small leaves to our roses. So we're going to take a small round brush and you're going to press down and lift as you pull so that you get that pointed end. And we're just going to go around and add little leaves all over. Okay, now we're going to work with the black fun writer. We're going to add the writing here, and we're going to work on this black and white checkered border. So I'm going to start with the words. You can absolutely pencil this on with a number 2 pencil if that makes it easier for you. I'm just going to go for it. Okay, so your letters are on there now, and we're going to go around and add the black and white checkered border. I'm going to take a pencil and sketch it out so that I know that my checkers are even. Alright, I'm going to take a pencil and sketch on the border. So I'm going to just do the outline first, and then I'll add the checkers around it. Okay, now we're going to take the black fun writer and outline and fill in the checkers. So I like to kind of outline it as I go. It makes it a little easier just to make a short line in between the 2 fat checkers than a big long line all the way around the border. And you're just going to follow this all the way around the rim. Once your checkers are on there, you're just going to take the fun writer and add the line in between each of them all the way around. Okay, for our next step, we're going to take the Simply Cinnamon fun writer and we're going to outline our flowers. Okay, now we're just going to take the black fun writer and we're going to outline the roses and these little flowers here. So we're just going to real lightly Okay, so our last step is going to be to add some dots. First we're going to use the black fun writer and add them to the background of the mug. And then we're going to use our flat end of our pencil and we're going to add dots all over the handle. So maybe 2 or 3 of each color should do good. And then we'll also just add a couple of the small black dots to the handle and our mug is finished.